Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, Episode 5, where we bring a unique insight analysis about your favorite sports, at the collegiate and professional levels as well as high school. But I'm your host, Chase Yantz. Here we are, Brady King, my co-host. How are we doing?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you, Chase?
Uh-oh.
Oh, he froze.
That's tough. He doesn't have that bluffed-in Wi-Fi. Cole, I can see your chips in the background.
How are we doing, Jake? I'm sure
I'm doing pretty solid. I think he's coming back, but
yeah, I think
get my roommate in the background right there.
Oh, yeah. There we go.
It doesn't matter to me.
Yeah. But yeah, we got a little bit to talk about here today. We've got, a big week of football ahead of us. Cannot discount that the World Series is starting tonight. I believe that first pitch was at 7:30, I believe. I think, Braves, Astros, big game. No one likes the Astros. So I think we're all rallying
first
behind.
Pitch 8:09.
8:09, okay.
It should have just started.
All right, so everybody's rallying around the ATL. That's for sure. I can tell most of the country will be.
No,
yeah. But we looking at we're not going to take much time. We're going to dive right into it. Big week of college football in the SEC and the Big Ten. Looking at big noon kickoff. Remember me and Brady? I remember we were talking about this one time in the car. Is it going to be Michigan and Michigan State that's going to be the night game, or is it going to be Penn State, Ohio State? It's going to be the night game.
Right.
Well, Michigan State got College Game Day.
They did.
But they also got the noon nod.
They got the noon and the College Game Day. What happened there was, and I'm convinced this is they made the night game Ohio State Penn State for a reason. They expected it to be a top 10 matchup, and they were going to make it game day. College Game Day was fully planning on going to Columbus.
Oh, definitely.
But obviously Penn State losing to Illinois kind of threw a wrench in their plans. So now I believe they had to make the switch to Michigan State.
Yep, exactly. I believe Penn State. Billy, Penn State's at 20 now, I believe, right?
We're ranked 20. Yeah. Still a good game. So
yeah,
nice.
Still definitely not a slouch, but still, they took a pretty good tumble down.
Yep.
Down the way.
They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't get the ball 3 yards, and not in 8 different overtimes.
I mean, that's incredible. We cannot discount how they went 9 overtimes. That's unbelievable. That's never heard of.
They kept throwing the ball to like tight ends that I've never heard of, or running the ball when they have one of the best receivers in the country, and they didn't give them any shots. Kind of ridiculous.
Well, while Chase is gone, I'll give an update. The Astros just took the lead. Braves took the lead 1-0, top first on a Solar home run to left field.
There we go. I'm not sure. I wonder if Chase heard that. Oh, there he is.
Yeah, sorry, I had to change the connection right there. Something weird was happening, but I'm good now. I'm good. But what did you say again, Brady?
Oh, the Astros or the Braves took the 1-0 lead is what Jake just said.
Oh, they did.
And
home run.
Yeah, home run. But I said how Penn State was refusing to throw to the number one, their best player, Jahan Dotson. They wouldn't even look at him.
Yeah, I'll tell you that Dotson, he's explosive. I remember him last year. I think when Ohio State played Penn State. Yeah, he did. That was really the only reason why they were somewhat in the game. It looked like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were just not. They weren't really going away. Like we'd have that 3-touchdown lead at all times, but they just wouldn't.
Yeah,
go away.
Ohio State still took care of business last year. Hopefully, we'll do the same on Saturday. We'll get to that game in just a moment. But obviously, Michigan State is the big noon kickoff where College Game Day will be held at. What do we see from both of these teams up north? What keeps Michigan in that reign that they are undefeated right now? What keeps both of these teams up there that makes them so impressive?
You want me to start with Michigan or Michigan State?
Go on ahead. You take the reins right there.
Okay. Do you want me to go Michigan first?
Yeah, you can go Michigan, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
The reason Michigan's undefeated is because they haven't played anyone, and they're still good. I'm not taking that away. They're a pretty good team, but they can't throw the ball at all. Like they struggle passing the ball, and they have a good run game. They have good run blocking line, and they've got some solid. They got a solid back core with Blake Corum and Hassan Haskins. Like they got a good run game for sure. Their defenses look pretty good, but that's what happens with Michigan in 2018. Defense looked good, playing all these scrubs. Played Ohio State, gave up 62, and then played Florida and gave up like 40.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they're a good team. I think they're better than like Oklahoma, but I just don't think they're. I don't think if they had played, if they would have played a couple of teams by now, like I think they lose multiple races still, and because I just don't think that they can throw. And then Michigan State's side, I think they're pretty balanced. Their running back is like at one point was the leading rusher in the country. Now he's second, but still he's a top 10 Heisman candidate with Kenneth Walker. And then their passing game has been pretty good too with Peyton Thorne at QB, and their receivers have been very explosive. Against Rutgers, they threw and rushed for over 300 yards, I believe, which is pretty impressive. So they're a lot more balanced. So they're more scary than Michigan as like a threat to like an Ohio State, in my opinion. But I think they're both two good teams. I think it should be good for sure.
Definitely should be. Jake, you got any thoughts on any of these teams?
No, kind of just bouncing off of what Brady said. I really don't think either team has played anybody on the level of like a top 25 team in the nation yet. Obviously, you win games for a reason. You have to be a solid team to win all these games. But and you can look at Michigan State just barely getting by Indiana 2 weeks ago and see what Ohio State just did to Indiana last week at home. So I think it'll be a good game for the two. But like on the athletic side, I don't think either team can match up with like a Georgia or even Ohio State, Alabama at this point.
Yeah,
I agree with that for sure.
You look at the Michigan defense right now. I'm just looking at the numbers based on the numbers and stuff. 299 yards allowed per game. I mean that number is pretty inflated when it comes to the competition level that they've played this entire season. But I mean it's really gonna be shown, are they legit or not when it comes Saturday, because Michigan State, like you said, pretty balanced offense, 251.3 passing yards through the air and 200 yards a game on the ground. So very balanced, and it seems like this is the more systematic offense that you would see, as the passing attack is greater than the running attack, but it's still pretty close when it comes to that.
Their QB is better than Michigan's too, I think. Thorne, I think he's better than McNamara by a good margin. I also think Michigan State has the more explosive receiving weapons, but I think Michigan has the better defense, and I think Michigan's running back duo is definitely better than Michigan State's duo, but Michigan State also has arguably a top 3 running back in the nation. So it's really hard to like balance that out.
Definitely is.
And I think Michigan's O-line is more run blocking heavy than Michigan State's as well.
I agree. I think looking at the numbers right here from McNamara, I mean, 1,115 yards in 7 games. So he's not even averaging 200 yards passing a game.
No.
5 touchdowns, the 1 pick. Has he missed any games? I haven't.
He has not missed a single game. He's played one more game than CJ Stroud.
So you obviously know.
How many touchdowns did you say he had? How many
5 touchdowns, 1 pick.
Oh, CJ Stroud has 22 touchdowns.
Yep, and that's why Thorne, it looks like he has some similar, like closer numbers to what CJ Stroud's at. 1,701, 15 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Right. Michigan State is able to take more shots down the field and have a running attack where Kenneth Walker's at 1,000 yards, just one normal run away from breaking 1,000 on Saturday. So, first play of the game, I would have couple plays he'll break it.
First possession, he'll probably break it because they'll give him the ball.
I mean, he's 3 yards away from 1,000 right now, which is that's crazy through 7 games.
I really am a little scared for Michigan's defense having to go against these receivers because I think behind Ohio State, this is the second best receiving core in the Big Ten overall.
Yep, they bring out some explosive nature for sure. I remember talking about that. Seeing what's the receiver's name? I'm really bad with college players right now.
Jalen Naylor.
Yep, he had an electric game. I believe that was against Rutgers. Yeah,
we were at the game that day.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he just went off and they went over the top and just freaking killed them. So that's obviously going to be a good game that we're taking a look at. Going down south to Jacksonville, Florida's 4-3, Georgia's number 1 team in the nation. But it is Georgia, Florida. Like, we can't really disregard that rivalry. It's been a pretty good rivalry overall, So
yeah.
I felt this was definitely the need that we're talking about this. You got Brad Nessler and Gary Danielson on the call. Looking at the numbers right here, Stetson Bennett, 996 yards, 11 touchdowns, the 2 picks. So he's had some good numbers. Emory Jones, 1305 yards, 10 touchdowns, 9 picks. The offenses aren't really the whole showcase, but obviously we've talked about this Georgia defense before. I mean, golly, they don't give up anything.
Yeah. I mean, in my personal opinion, did you say Emory Jones has 10 touchdowns and 9 picks?
Yes, he does.
Ugh. I never thought he was very good, but that just kind of proves it that he can throw 9 picks with good weapons too. Like, Florida recruits pretty well at like skill positions, and so you don't really have an excuse. If you're gonna throw 9 picks, you gotta be at 20 plus touchdowns. And
exactly.
they need to go, and I think they might play Anthony Richardson quite a bit. They're young QBs. He's like a 6'4", 220-pound, can run it well and can throw bombs.
I didn't even argue in college. If you're a good quarterback, or if you're not a good quarterback, if you're a quarterback that wants to play at the next level and you're playing in college and you have hopes of getting to the next level, your touchdown interception ratio, I mean, it's got to be pushing 3-1.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. I mean, I haven't seen a whole lot of film on Emory Jones and stuff like that. I mean, he's ran the ball for 500 yards this year, 7 games. I know like Florida has that little 2 quarterback system that they run here and there and stuff like that. But, if he has any hopes of developing his game, man, I mean, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception has got to be the ratio, like, for an entire season.
Some dude from PFF before the season had a top 10 pick. And he has shown absolutely – yeah. And Emory in the past year has shown no glimpses of being a passer.
I understand, like, it's, you look at it from a potential standpoint, but like you said, he hasn't backed up anything.
Yeah, he's never even – I don't even see the potential, to be quite honest with you. Like,
yeah.
He can't throw very well. I'm just gonna be straight up. He's not like quarterbacks. Georgia's got 2 quarterbacks way better than Emory Jones.
Mm-hmm.
And I think JT Daniels is actually healthy now, but he won't start. I think Stetson Bennett has definitely earned that starting job over Daniels.
Yeah, and I just want to look at the numbers right here when it comes to both teams. Georgia's a pretty balanced attack on offense. I will say 237 through the air, 192 on the ground, equaling 430.1. They're averaging 38 points a game and giving up 6.6 points per game. I'm reading that correctly. And I want to get the numbers of Florida. They're winning on average 34-21. Averaging 501 yards a game. They are about as balanced as it gets, about 250 and 250. That's what Urban Meyer wants to do with the Jaguars in the NFL. I mean, averaging 500 yards and 250 apiece is unheard of in the NFL. But
yeah,
Florida,
that's what you want.
Yeah, Florida's really susceptible to the run, though. 141 yards a game given up. I mean, that's bad at any level. I know college football, you can see more of a run dominant stuff like that, but there's not really many great running backs and like any I wouldn't say like
the best run
backs that are going to the draft this year. Obviously, you look at Ohio State, Travion Henderson, you got other guys around the country, but
he's for sure. But yeah, going into the draft, no.
Yeah, you got none of them going into the draft, and they're giving up 141 yards a game on the ground. and George is averaging 200 yards a game. So obviously that's going to be a place to look at when it comes to Georgia trying to take advantage on offense, let alone their defense. So
right.
Yeah. But I mean, this should. I still think Florida can find a way to make this an interesting game through the first half, though. If they come out firing, that's the thing. They're gonna have to come out and take some shots on this team, try to find some holes and everything. That's about the only way I really feel like they're gonna have a chance to make this thing a game. Because I mean,
oh, there it goes.
Oh. Well, while Chase is gone, I've been sitting here watching the World Series game. I'm not as much into college football, I feel like, as you guys. I'm more of a baseball, basketball guy.
Right.
So, Braves are now up 2-0, going to the bottom of the first. You had Jorge Soler with his home run. Ozzie Albies reached on the infield single and stole second, and Austin Riley hit a ball to the wall, scored. Ozzie Albies take 2-0 lead. Now for the Braves, got Charlie Morton starting on the mound. He's a solid arm on the mound, right-hander. So he's back. There he is.
I'm not like this. I need to figure out some stuff, but yeah, keep continuing what you're saying.
Oh, just Charlie Morton's just a solid number one option for the Braves, and we should.
What's the score right now?
2-0 Braves.
All right,
yeah.
All right.
Ozzie Albies scored from second. I think having a guy like that you can rely on power, and let's look at Ozzie. I'll look at Ozzie Albies' stats real quick. I'm pretty sure he had over 30 home runs this year. And to ask a second baseman to hit 30, how many home runs? Yeah, he had 30 even. To ask a second baseman to hit 30 home runs in MLB is kind of absurd. But to find a guy that can do that and swipe 15 bags a year, be a legit threat on bases is crazy. To have someone like that, just a game changer.
I honestly, I kind of want to look at what he like between Houston and Atlanta when it comes to when it comes to the record and stuff. Houston 51-30 at home in the regular season, and I'm kind of just looking at the home and home advantage. In Atlanta 42-38, so they're about 500. When Houston has got a pretty nice gap when it comes to winning games at home and stuff. That's something to take account of, but Atlanta getting it done right now. So, we'll see.
You got to look at one thing you get to take in perspective, at least for so far this year, is Braves lost your best player. Ronald Acuna Jr. went out, torn ACL, about a fourth of the way into the season. So you had that whole gap that he didn't play. They lost their best player. They're going on a down slope. And at the trade deadline, they went hard. The trade deadline, secure their outfielder to play for now is Jock Peterson. He's been having finished the year out solid with Atlanta, gave them the little gap they needed. Obviously, he was nowhere near as good as Acuna was, but he filled the gap that they needed in the outfield for sure. And I think, obviously, being a Cleveland Indians fan, I guess the Guardians now, I want to see the Astros lose. I hate seeing the Astros win. They've proved they can win, though, so you have to have a little bit of respect for them now. And I think seeing the Braves, seeing Freddie Freeman finally get a ring would be nice to see. That's who I think will win it because they're the hottest team in baseball right now, I believe. As Chase is gone again.
Definitely. Yeah. Seems like he's having some trouble today, but yeah. Anyways, we got some good updates in the game at least while he was down. So
Michael Brantley just had a single to right. Yeah, I mean, you looked at Eddie Rosario, the performance he put in the NLCS, just crazy. Batted 500 with 14 hits, tied the most in playoff series history, most hits.
Dang.
In only 6 games too. He didn't even play the 7th game. They didn't even need a 7th game. So just crazy. Seeing him get it done has just been different compared to the rest of the league, I guess.
For sure. Well, I guess we'll probably see Chase joining in again in a second, but I don't know.
Yeah, for real. Check my phone.
By the way, I don't think I said, but I think Michigan will win, and I think
right you are about that. I did join. I was watching the stream from the outside. Dude, I really don't know what is going on with Wi-Fi these days. That is a me problem right now. I have no idea.
The Earl and Wi-Fi not doing it for you?
No, I'm actually back home, man. Like
You
I don't
come
know.
to Dirty Bluff.
Man, I mean,
Big old bluff there.
we'll try again one time here really soon. I'll be up there again. But yeah,
You need to come here for school. That's what you need to do. Just don't join the football team.
Well, moving on into the college football side of things. We are saying college football. We talked about Georgia, Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn, number 10 versus number 18. That I believe the game's at 7:00 on ESPN. You're looking at Matt Corral, 1,913 yards, 19. That's 15 touchdowns. My eyes were deceiving right there. 15 touchdowns, 1 pick. He's ran 9 touchdowns this year. I mean, my golly, 24 touchdowns total this year for Corral. What do you like about him, Brady?
I think that he's an all-around QB that, he doesn't have crazy athleticism, but you put the ball in his hands and he's going to make something happen, whether it be a deep shot, whether him gaining, his 6 yards he needs. And he never really was like a guy that they asked him to run much, but this year they've been giving him the ball in the red zone. He's been just getting in that. He's been getting in the end zone, and he's obviously throwing. He has a really nice arm, in my opinion. I think that not many quarterbacks throw a better deep ball than Matt Corral, in my personal opinion. But I think that Matt Corral is having a great season, and that he's a top 5 Heisman contender for sure.
Agreed. Thoughts on Bo Nix? Open discussion. I
guess I could start with that.
Yeah.
I think he has a lot of potential. I'll say that for sure. I think he has potential to be good. Now, is he? I mean, he's a mid-college quarterback, I would say.
I'd agree.
But you look at, and me and Evan just had an argument about this a couple weeks ago. When you look at the fundamental SEC, and I guess you can go any conference with this, the fundamental SEC, you have your powerhouses. Usually it's Alabama for sure, powerhouse. And then your other powerhouse you'll see is Georgia most of the time. It's Georgia, Alabama, Georgia, two top dogs. You'll get your random teams like LSU will run off what they did with Joe Burrow. They'll be up there for a year. Then you get Auburn will go up for 1 year, 2 years. That's about it.
Yeah.
All the other teams are just borderline top 25 because they're in the SEC. That's the only reason why they even should be on the list. I mean, you'll see every year during bowl season that SEC schools just get beat left and right, over and over again. And now, am I saying that throw a Big 10, Big 12 ACC is better? Probably not. This year, I think Big 10's better than SEC, but I don't think so. Overall, probably not. I think Big 10, you have your Ohio State would be good every year. Usually, Penn State's good every year. Wisconsin's usually pretty solid. Then you'll have how you have with LSU and Auburn. You'll have your Michigans, your Michigan States, schools like that that have their surges up and down. Even you'll see Northwestern last year. But I don't know. I think Auburn's one of those. It's definitely one of those schools that they should be a lot better than what they are, but they're just not what people think they are.
Yeah, I agree with everything that was said there. I mean, that was a pretty good breakdown. That was because you look at it from a money standpoint as well. If you want to look at it, talking about bowl games, stuff like that. People want to see the SEC. They're the down south conference. They play on CBS, big market.
The second biggest market.
Yes, exactly. So, they want to see those teams, play on TV and stuff like that. That's a little different. I'm kind of filtering over to the pros and stuff like that. But a good point there when you said, seeing these SEC teams going in and playing bowl games and getting their butts kicked. Look at Florida last year. What was that?
Who did Cincinnati play somebody last
Florida,
year?
Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Kyle Trask is playing all these SEC schools and all that stuff. Like some of those, obviously Alabama was the top school, but there wasn't anything last year in the SEC. There was nothing. There was no competition at all.
Last year, the best conference was – I have no idea. Last year,
I mean, obviously, last year was last year.
It was spread out, yeah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the ACC had Clemson and Notre Dame Notre Dame was there for that year. It was that actually seemed like it was a pretty balanced year of college football. But
it really was.
I mean, teams like you see like a team like Florida or someone like that they're like, oh, we should have been in the college football playoff or should have been fighting for the college football playoff.
Oh, see you, Chase.
But yeah, what he was saying, Florida fans thought they'd make the playoff, or should have made the playoff, and then they play one of the worst defensive teams in the nation year in and year out, Oklahoma, who no one really argues. Even their fans want all their defensive coordinators fired every year, but Kyle Trask came out there and he looked clueless, and he had a rough time, and Florida got smoked, and it was embarrassing. But yeah, what he was saying is the SEC is not always all that they're said to be, is basically what he's saying.
Yeah, like you can even look at you'll have Cincinnati this year. They were good last year too, but they're solid. Now, Power 5 team, I don't think they're a solid Power 5 team. I don't think they should be number 2 in the nation right now. But I mean, they took Georgia to the max that they could have gone. They should have won that game. They were up 21-10 going into the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
Lost.
They should have won.
They lost 24-21. Yeah, they should have beat Georgia. 7-2 Georgia team last year. They won their division, didn't they? In the SEC, they played Alabama and
I believe Georgia was the SEC East winners.
Yeah,
because I don't think Florida beat them, did they?
Oh, it might have been Florida. It might have been.
It was Florida because they played Alabama in the SEC championship. I forgot about it. That's my fault. But it was Florida, but still Georgia, I think they had the same amount of losses as Florida, but Florida had the head-to-head. But yeah, Georgia was not a scrub, obviously.
No, they're definitely a solid team last year.
Definitely. And Cincinnati should have won, frankly.
Yeah, for sure.
But just got a message from Chase that we're going to finish up the show.
Me and you?
Yeah, because he texted me because he said he needs to finish up some problems.
All right, so you want to run down the NFL?
Let's do it.
Who we think? All right, you a Bengals fan?
I am a Steelers fan. You're a Browns fan, right? You're a Browns.
I am a Browns fan. Yeah.
We're playing each other this week.
Yeah, should be a good week football.
Definitely. Browns are probably going to win, but
it'll be a good game for sure. I think it'll be a good game.
It will. I agree with that.
I like what we have on the schedule: contenders or pretenders coming up. So I'm gonna go. I've been saying this since the Lions week with the Ravens. The Ravens aren't a legit team. I don't think they're a legit team in the NFL this year.
I don't think so either.
I've been standing by that they've barely survived here. I'll go look up the Ravens schedule. They do have some solid wins. I'll give them that. They have some solid wins.
The Chargers win was huge. That was their best game for sure.
By far, yeah. But you look, they lost to the Raiders. Raiders, I think, are a decent team this year.
Yeah, they're all right. Yeah,
they beat the Chiefs by 1. I think the Browns should have beat the Chiefs. So
the
Ravens beat the Chiefs by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Needed the greatest kick of all time to beat the Lions. The Lions are 0-6, 0-6 or 0-7.
0-7.
They're 0-7. Yeah, they're 0-7.
Yeah, they're terrible.
They had a pretty solid win against the Broncos. Give them that.
They did.
But then you had to see Lamar Jackson go God mode against the Colts. And the Colts.
Yeah.
The Colts. What are the Colts? At the time, the Colts are 1-3.
Yeah, the Colts are not a great team.
No. by any means. Then they handled the Chargers pretty well. I'll give them that. Herbert and them had a really bad week.
They had a bad week.
But then you look at last week with the Bengals. That really shocked me. It shocked me a lot.
Throttled. They could not guard. They could not guard Jamar Chase.
No. He's the best wide receiver in the division by far.
He is the best wide receiver in the division. It's not close.
No.
It really is.
And so the Ravens, they got a bye week this week, so they're off for the week. But then you got to see them pick up the week after that with the Vikings. So not a terrible opponent. So we should see how that works.
That could be a good game.
For sure. Another team, let me look at teams I think that are fraud. Another fraud team. I'm just going to look up the rankings, standings. So at the NF. I could say another one for sure. New Orleans Saints, not doing it for me, especially after watching last night's game. I get it's rainy, hard conditions to play in Seattle, but James just isn't doing it for me.
Nah, he started off great, but now he's definitely.
Yeah.
I don't know if they figured him out or if he's just not that good. It's one of the two, but yeah. He always has had a problem with like decision making. Like he's got a good arm. He doesn't seem to know the game of football very well.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, it's Jameis. He's not like the worst QB in the NFL, but he's not Drew Brees. He's not filling in for Drew Brees.
No, at this point, I mean, they are second in their division, but they're playing in the same division as Tom Brady. So you're obviously not going to win that division.
No, the Bucs are going to win the division. No,
it seems like a point though for the Saints. I'm not saying you need to tank, but you need to find that franchise quarterback because it's not in the QB room right now.
That's
not. Don't have them in the QB room.
They'll need to use the draft in like the next couple of years.
Yeah, either the draft to go find somebody in free agency.
Exactly. If they're going to go draft, I would say wait until after this, not this coming draft because the QB class is weak. But then in the next draft class, you've got Bryce Young, C.J. Stroud, those type of guys. So I would go with one of those guys for sure.
For sure. Another team. Let me look. Yeah, another team I'm gonna rock with on the overrated teams. I think the Las Vegas Raiders. Put them.
I would agree with that.
So you had the Ravens, decent win. They beat the Steelers. No offense, Steelers aren't anything special this year, especially with Juju out now. Nothing special. Yes. Big Ben looks like he can't throw a football down the field.
Yeah, he's struggling.
They beat the Dolphins in overtime by 3. The Dolphins, I don't think they've found their franchise quarterback. Tua is just not getting it done there. They got beat by 2 touchdowns by the Chargers. Now I will say, I think the Chargers are the best team in that division right now. The Chiefs are looking a little off. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll make a playoff run.
I think they'll probably will.
They'll probably push to find their way back into the playoffs, but I definitely think it's the Chargers division to win.
It is. As an
outcome. They got killed by the Bears. The Bears have to be the number 1 team that like I love Justin Fields to death, but he does not have the protection to sit back there and throw.
I'm not gonna lie. I honestly was like cool with him going to the Bears, but I didn't really think about their O-line. Like I didn't really know much about the Bears offensive line. And I thought, Allen Robinson, Darnell Mooney, not bad. He'll go with that as long as he gets protection. And I watched these games, and there is not a quarterback in the NFL with worse protection than Justin Fields.
No, it's bad.
The dude will take 2 steps and just be going through his reads. You can't pay attention to the D-line at that point. It's not on him at this point. Like he's got to trust his own line. He's trusting them, and then boom, he gets killed as he's about to throw it on his first read. He'll throw his first read, and they'll already be back there, and they'll knock the ball out of his hands. That's just not his fault.
Oh, for sure. Another team. You want to switch to more of like who you think is legit? You want to start off with one? Do you have one off the top of your head? Or
sure. Well, I mean, I might as well start with Arizona. Like, I think they're I think obviously they're undefeated, but I think they're like legit really good. Like they're not just lucky that they're undefeated at this point. They're having a very explosive. Their offense probably right now looks like top tier. I'm not going to say it's the best in the NFL, but it's definitely looking like it definitely could be. With Kyler Murray just playing amazing, like the dude, great in the pocket, doesn't get sacked much because he runs around. He just scampers away from people, and then he has a cannon for being how small he is.
Oh, yeah.
He can throw downfield. DeAndre Hopkins, all their receiving core is good. Christian Kirk, A.J. Green, Rondale Moore. It's a good receiving core.
Yeah, they're winning games, and they're winning them by fashion, too. You see them beat they beat the Browns by 13. I think it was the injured Browns team, but still 37 points up on the Browns, solid.
Right.
They beat the Rams. They put up 37 on the Rams. That's one of the best defenses in the league.
It might be the best.
And then they put 30 up on the Titans and held them to 13 points. That's a team I think is a fraud. Is the Titans. That should be the number one team I would say is a fraud.
Yeah, I don't know how they killed the Chiefs. Like I know the Chiefs aren't very good this year, but still they got killed. But the Titans, I don't think Tannehill's all that. You give him those guys, I mean, of course you're going to look decent with AJ.
How many weapons he has behind him?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that, looking back, I never really paid attention to the Titans until last year. The Browns played the Titans week 12, I think, week 12 or 13, sometime later in the year. And the Titans can't do anything when they're down. When they're losing, they're out of the game every time.
Yeah. They
can't just sit there and hand it off to Derrick Henry. It's over.
Exactly. Yeah,
when their run game is irrelevant, you will see Tannehill just crumble because they know they're not going to run the ball.
Right. If they'd be screwed if they didn't have the receivers they have because they back the box and they would get shut down. Like if you can shut down Henry, because Henry's really good. I think he's the best running back in the league for sure.
Yeah, but, for sure, by far, yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like he's unbelievable. He's the best player on that team, and it's not that close. But
he's got to be one of the best players in football.
Oh yeah, in terms of position, just being good at your position, I'd say he's
dominant. He is, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say he's a top 5 player in the NFL. Number one's probably Justin Tucker. If we're looking at how much better he is.
True.
But yeah, he's insane. Henry is. But yeah, the Titans.
Oh, for sure.
They're not. They're just not it. I agree. They're not.
Yeah.
They're potential.
I think 2 winners right now are my for sure 2 winners are the Bengals. I think the Bengals are looking really good. I want to see them face up against the Ravens are a solid team. They're a solid team. I give them that. Yeah. I also want to see the Bengals go up against. I want to see them go up against the legit team.
I agree with that.
They played the Lions. They handled the Lions. I guess they played the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
Played the Packers. They lost. Yeah, they lost to the Bears. They barely beat the Vikings and Jaguars. So I get you have off weeks and stuff like that, but 2 weeks, November 7th, Browns Bengals. I think that'll be their first legit test. Yeah. They do play them at home, so that's nice for them. But I think that will be their first test of the season.
I kind of feel like the Browns will win that game.
A healthy Browns team, I still think is the best team in the division, but it's not like the Bengals are bad. They will make the playoffs.
Yeah,
that's one of my teams. I think they have a better chance to make the playoffs than the Browns at this point. If the Browns
they do right now, for sure. I would say the Bengals have at least a 50% chance of making the playoffs right now, which is a high chance considering how much of the schedule's left.
Yeah, you look at their season coming forward. So they got Jets on New Year's, and that should be a win. Zach Wilson out, especially should be. And they got the Browns, should be a really good game. Then they go back to back with the Browns and the Raiders. So they go Browns, Raiders, back to back week. Oh, now they have a bye week in between the Browns and Raiders, but still, that's 2 legit teams.
Yeah,
they have a hard stretch after that going ahead for them because they got the Steelers. I don't think all that, but it's still an interdivision game. It can be a good game.
Right.
Then they got the Chargers, 49ers, and Broncos right after each other.
Right.
The Broncos aren't the best team in the league. The injured Browns, I think, handled them pretty well.
Yeah.
If we had our starter, even with Baker Mayfield, I think we scored. It's a 2-touchdown game instead.
Yeah.
But I'd say the Broncos is probably the easiest game they have left on their schedule after that, because then they go right back to Baltimore, then they play the Chiefs and the Browns in the season. That's a hard 3-game stretch to end the year on.
That's rough.
Fighting to win a playoff spot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you're fighting for a playoff spot at that point, you'd have to beat 2 out of 3 of those teams.
You got and you got to hope the Chiefs don't get hot too.
Yeah,
because if they do get hot, that's a guaranteed loss.
Oh, for sure.
Like they can get scary. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes is looking really bad right now for some reason. I don't know why it is. He's just not. He's throwing the ball into the dirt sometimes.
Yeah,
it's weird.
But I'm probably gonna go try to see the week 18 matchup, Browns Bengals in Cleveland.
That would be sweet.
I think that would be one of the biggest games of the season.
It will be. It could be.
I think that game will determine who wins the division. Honestly, I think that'll be who wins the division that game.
It's one of those two. It's one of those two teams
for sure. I think the Browns healthy are a top 3 team in the AFC. No, they're probably like a top 5 team in the AFC right now.
Yeah,
they're definitely a playoff team healthy.
Yeah,
but my other for sure 2 winners are the Chargers and the Bills. Josh Allen's looking absolute money right now.
Yep,
dude's damn near untouchable.
He is.
And then
rockets that are just perfectly accurate. Like I've never seen most of these QBs for some reasons that just are huge, throw the ball are inaccurate, and they just have a gift of a strong arm. This dude, that's what I thought he was. I'm like, he's just a guy with a strong arm that can't that'll overthrow like we've seen with Paxton Lynch. I'm not sure if you remember him from the Broncos. He was out of Memphis. He was 6'8" and he couldn't throw. But it's not the case with Allen. Allen is really accurate, way more accurate than I expected him to be.
Oh, and for sure.
Great QB.
Yeah, for sure. And then the Chargers, their offensive threats are just crazy.
Really?
I mean, you have Herbert's a dog. I'll give Herbert is a dog.
Herbert is.
But you have you have Austin Eckler,
Keenan Allen, Mike Williams.
Mike Williams, yeah. I still think I might sound like biased Browns fan. I think we should have won that game. That pass interference call in the fourth quarter was kind of BS. Even though the league said it shouldn't have been pass interference, but I mean, you got to give props where it's at 47 points. You should win that game.
Yeah,
and they played a hell of a game by far. Herbert 398 touchdowns. Eckler 2 touchdowns. Actually, no. Herbert had 5 touchdowns that week. He had a rushing touchdown. Threw for Mike Williams 165 yards, 8 receptions, 2 touchdowns. Keenan Allen 6 receptions, 75 yards. Austin Eckler 5 receptions, 53 yards and a touchdown. Then to the tight end Donald Parham 3 receptions, 29 yards and a touchdown. I mean, that's just crazy.
The ball around a little bit for sure.
Yeah, they were throwing some balls on spots, but I think the Browns at this point, what they need the most is to get healthy. They need to get healthy fast.
I agree.
You can see them going sad. I'm sad to say if they gotta win. Let's look at their stretch coming ahead. So they got the Steelers this week, which I think should still be a win, healthy or not, which I think will be healthier. Mm-hmm. Dearness Johnson's a guy. He's a legit RB1 for I'd say half the teams in the league.
Yeah.
Sad to say he's gonna be gone. He won't stay a Brown very much longer in the future. He's just too good. He's too good to be an RB3.
Yeah.
So you got the Steelers. Then you got the Bengals. I think that'll be a really good matchup. Bengals Browns. As you see, did I see that today? Nick Chubb is questionable.
I have not seen that yet. But
Chubb, oh yeah, he's expected to face the Steelers in Week 8, according to the score. I swore I saw it this morning. So then you got the Bengals. Then we got the Patriots. I think the Patriots aren't a bad team by any means. They're about they're a mid team. I'd say they're around.
Yeah, they're about as average as it gets. They're about as average as it gets.
I think Mac Jones is definitely playing the best out of the quarterbacks right now.
He is.
In the rookie class.
He has the best offensive line as well.
Oh, for sure.
Huge thing for a rookie.
For sure.
What's up with him getting on these great offensive lines? Alabama literally gave him years to throw. He's getting that dude is like a lucky guy. Like I know he's good, but like he gets to go with Nick Saban. He waits it out until his senior year and literally has the Heisman winning receiver, the best offensive line in the country, and just overall
One
the
of
best.
the best backs, yeah.
Yeah, the best, the Doak Walker Award winner and running back. And you got
Harris.
Jalen Waddle was also probably the second best receiver in the country.
Yeah.
And your defense obviously has great players. Then you get to the NFL, you're with Bill Belichick and with a really good offensive line. And receivers that are performing better than we thought.
Yeah. Even Damian Harris, he's having a good season too.
Yeah, he's a good
backfield.
He is. He's a good player.
So you got the Lions. That should be a win. I think the Lions can stir up a little bit of trouble there. Maybe a little bit with the Browns. They always seem to play down in competition.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got back-to-back Ravens games. You have a bye week in between first, but still, that's going to be their test of the season for sure. That's going to be their test. And they got the Raiders. Should be a good game.
Mm-hmm.
You got the Packers on Christmas in Green Bay. So 4:30 Christmas Day in Green Bay. You got the Steelers Bengals, and that should be. They're gonna have to win some games. That's all I'm gonna say. They're gonna have to win games on the stretch.
They will, no doubt. It's gonna be tough. It's a grind.
Oh, it's a grind. I think the easiest team to have, the easiest path to get in right now is definitely the Bills. Looking at their schedule, you got the Dolphins, Jaguars, Jets, Colts, Saints, solid team, or okay team. Patriots, Buccaneers, that'll be a good matchup December 12th, 4:35. You got the Panthers. Oh, for sure. Panthers, Falcons, Patriots, and Jets. End the season, the Jets.
Oh, yeah.
So
they've got
they definitely have the easiest walk into the playoffs out of any team in the AFC, let alone. We can go look at the NFC. NFC by far is the Cowboys. Cowboys are a solid team this year.
Cowboys
they'll always be a good, solid offensive team.
Yeah.
CeeDee Lamb's playing the expectation now,
mm-hmm.
finding his way in the league. So that's good to see out of him. Yeah. But, I mean, they definitely played in the worst division in football, I would say, confidently would say. I mean, the second best team in that division is the Washington football team. They're 2-5.
Yeah, they suck. Exactly.
I think the Cowboys are good. I think they'll see lapses when it comes to the playoffs because of their defense. I'm not sold on Trayvon Diggs. I think he's a solid cornerback, but I don't think he's what people hype him up to. How many receiving yards he gives up?
It's bad. Yeah, they throw his way for a reason. I mean, not saying that he has good ball skills. Like he's really good at like intercepting interceptable balls, if that makes any sense. But
I get what you're saying.
But his like he's just not like a great man-to-man corner overall. Like
no, he really isn't.
He tries to intercept the ball at this point. Like that one against the Patriots where he got beat deep to play after he had a pick six. He was trying
to force him inside.
Exactly. He was trying to get Mac to throw another pick and then got beat for a 75-yard touchdown. You just can't have that happen.
He does a really what I think quarterbacks start to pick up on since he's a young guy in the league, especially guys like Tom Brady who will exploit that exponentially. I think even like you'll see like Matthew Stafford and Kyler Murray get to it too, even Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Is that he forces a lot of guys to come back inside. He relies on safety help. About 70% of the time he forces guys inside. And that's what you have to do. If you want to jump routes and get picks, you have to force them back inside.
You do. And which it's just hard to rely on that to get intercepted.
Oh, yeah. That's why he gets beat as much as he does.
Yeah. Like Jalen Ramsey. He doesn't get that many interceptions, but he's really good.
Targeted. Yeah, he doesn't get targeted.
Yeah. He doesn't focus on interceptions. He's always staring at the receiver, not the quarterback, which is what you're supposed to do. You look at your receiver, and if the ball's thrown, you'll see your receiver's eyes, and you can turn around and make a play. But no need to try to force the quarterback to throw picks. Those will happen. Those will happen over time with bad decisions. Then you'll get your interceptions. But overall, I still obviously he's a good corner because he's got all those picks, but I don't think he's elite yet.
No, probably not. All right. Well, I think we've coming to an end here on the show for today.
We have.
And to wrap up, I'll give one more summary on the World Series game one. Atlanta Braves took a 3-0 lead now, going into the bottom of the second here in Houston.
Good news.
Yeah, really good news. Soler's just getting it done. He hit a home run in the first, 392 left field, or 382 to left field. Then he grounded to a fielder's choice shortstop. Dude scored from third, and then Jack Peterson did a good job of getting a run down at third. So I give him props and good base running right there. But as we come to a close, I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Thank you, Brady.
Yep, thank you.
I'm gonna wish we had Chase here for sure.
Right.
Wish we had Chase for sure. But we'll get him back next week, or maybe we can drop another episode this week if possible time scheduling.
Yeah. Yep.
But yeah, it was good. We'll see you soon, Brady.
Yep, for sure.
Everybody have a good week.
Yep. Hey, have a good week.
Yep. See you.
Yep, I'll see you.